Hello and welcome to the London Project. I greet you in the next episode of our series where we are rebuilding the transport infrastructure in the city of London. We have made a lot of progress. We're currently at Cambridge train station. This is the view that you have at Cambridge train station, where we have a few high-speed trains. We've got the underground or overground reaching out to Cambridge for quick transfer into the city of London. So this is what we built in the last episode, this train station. If you haven't seen the previous episodes, I recommend you going to watch those before coming back to this one, because we've got a whole series of us building up London. But as you can see, this is Cambridge railway station. That train is heading for the north. That's going to be heading all the way up the railway line that we built last episode into a few cities up here, all the way up to Middlesbrough. We've also got another higher speed rail which is going to cross over this bridge at perfect timing, just like that, which goes directly from Middlesbrough to Cambridge. So that's going to be heading back down there, which is awesome, and we are going to also head back down too. So here is Cambridge again, and then it's got a short transfer over into London via this train route here. So this is the first station that we have in London. As you can see, it's quite a busy one now. There's a lot of people waiting for us, a couple of trains here and there, loads of trains arriving right on cue. It is looking pretty darn awesome. Problem that we have is there are so many people waiting. We do have quite a lot of trains, which is good. They are taking it in turns to come through, so as soon as this one's loaded off again, this one will shoot back through, and job is a good one. But we've got these lines that we connect up to Canterbury and Brighton. They come right across this river here, as you can see, link up to another station where there is a junction, and they connect up to the other major cities, which is cool. But if we go back to that initial station that we were at here, this one is far too busy. We're struggling a bit with capacity, as you can see. If we click onto this station here, not the train or Lucy Wilson, there are a lot of people waiting for this train, especially on the Canterbury 1 line, which we just have one underground train running between the two. So what we're going to look at doing is adding another train to this circuit just to make it slightly more efficient. We've got this kind of dormant middle rail that we've got a few connections up to, so I think what we're going to do is we're going to create a few connections, and hopefully we will be able to run two trains along this line at once. So what we'll do then is, we've already got this slight connection here. We need to reconnect that one, rejoin it back to the main rail just as a crossing point for our trains. So what's the distance like? Okay, we've got enough distance for a train to fit. Don't really like that, to be honest. Probably want this to cross over. I think it's going to make the bridge a bit skew-if, isn't it? Let's have a look. Does that make the bridge a bit skew-if, or does it just look fine? Yeah, it looks fine. It'll be alright. Yeah, no dramas. So, which way was our signals going? Let's have a look at the signal. That one's going outwards, so this one will once again come in like that. Hold that one there. We've actually got another joiner just here, and we need to create. We don't have the middle track on this side, so we probably need to create a very short avoidance point or a runoff point just along this rail here. So that's simply what we're going to do. We'll just add a nice curved bit of rail here, and then we will link that up to the main line like so, and then we'll do the same with the bottom. Hopefully this should allow us to run two trains, fingers crossed. That's looking like it should be looking, in my opinion. Kind of want that there. Then we want one on the next junction here. Now, let's see what happens if we run it like that. So let's find... Well, let's just buy another tube train to begin with, which shouldn't be too difficult to find. Just a dirty diesel tube train, thank you very much. And we want to buy one of those, and we want to add that to the, I believe it was the Canterbury one. We link that up to the Canterbury one. Hopefully once this one, which is the same line, transfers out, this one should start to push forward, which it does. That's awesome, that means that that's working. That's now using the outside rail. So hopefully when they meet each other, that should be a stronger, strong switch over and not too much of a wait. So we'll speed that up and see when they meet. Okay, we're on the return journey. I can see that our opposite train is at the platform. We have switched over. That train's coming down. Is it going to be a smooth transition? Can it just continue on? I would suggest we get rid of this turn here, because that can quite easily continue on and just turn off from there. So I think that's what we're going to do. Okay, that's interesting. Is it like that because we've got this connected here? Because that looks like too sharp of a turn, which is kind of obviously pointed out by that dodgy connection here. So let's scrap that, reconnect it here. Want that to connect to this train line here. Pop a couple signals in like that, and then if we scrap this junction on the bridge and that one, hopefully the next time they come round that'll be a bit of a smoother transition. So let's go find our friend and we'll just follow him and see what he gets up to. Right, I think we're going to meet the next train very shortly, so we're just going to keep an eye on our train. There's the second train. Straight transition through. Smooth as butter, sunshine. Smooth as butter. That is nice. We like that. We can get along with that. That's pretty nice. Yeah, we're happy with that. That's good. I'm going to stick with it once more for one more run, just to make sure that it is working how it should be. Okay, we're just about to meet the other train again. See at the distance, it switches rails. Are we going to pull off in time? Oh my goodness. This is what dreams are made of. I appreciate it's a little bit laggy because we're on full speed, but yes, that was absolutely tremendous. So that rail is working perfectly. We're really happy with that. And just on time, we get all of these other trains in. Oh, it's so nice seeing all of this functioning now. It's really, really good. So I've made a few changes to the city just by adding some more roads over this side, changing some of these to country roads to stop the building on them, as well as the same with this road here, and that's now an asymmetrical country road just to prevent people from building on them. The next thing I wanted to do was, away from transport sort of stuff, I want to fill this space because it feels really empty, but it's kind of like an important space because we're right next to the main station, right next to some monuments, but it's just completely empty. So I'd like to develop it a little bit. So my thought for this section here is to potentially put a stadium, whether that is the Wembley Stadium that we have. I think that's an asset. Can we type in Wembley? No. Can we type in stadium? We've got all of these stadiums, but any of them Wembley? No. There is a Wembley Stadium somewhere, but oh my gosh, that's huge. Mr. Massive over here, crikey. We could use this football stadium because it does look quite nice, but we do have the Wembley Stadium as well, so we'll have a little look to see what that looks like. I'm just going to pop it down here and actually just have a quick look to see what it looks like, because it might look alright and it might not. It's pretty huge, isn't it? It's pretty huge. Remains Stadium. I thought that I was going to say Emirates Stadium then for Arsenal. I mean, it's cool, but I think it's... we'll look at the Wembley Stadium. Let me find it. So here is our Wembley Stadium. We've dropped it down a bit of scale because it was far too huge. But it could potentially sit somewhere around here. If we pushed it all the way back, it might actually fit completely in there, or we're probably going to have to put it this way. But that will fit in just like this. So if we popped that, or do we want it closer to the water? I think we potentially want it about here. Let's just have a little look. Okay. I mean, yeah, it's not too shabby. It's not awful. It's not the worst thing I've ever seen in my life. I'm going to pause the game while we build because it's causing us a little bit of disruption and lag. But we zoom out. I think it's okay. We'll just have to decorate it a bit to make it look a bit nicer. Now, just by placing a few roads around it, it does look better, but we'll adjust it again with some trees as well. So we've added a few car parks around the outside and then a few little trees and stuff to cover it up a little bit, which is making it look a little bit better even more, which is good. We're happy with that. We just need to obviously fill in the gaps around it and hopefully make it look that little bit nicer, because at the moment it's not looking perfect. So we've started by adding a few assets just in the surrounding area, so kind of like office buildings / hotels / places to go. It's just starting to fill in the space a little bit, and once this is kind of all filled in, I feel like this would stand out a lot less. The stadium will stand out a lot less, so we will continue to develop. We'll continue to place a few assets here and there just to try and fill in the gaps and make it a little bit nicer. I think with this we're going to struggle to fill in some of these gaps, so we'll probably just put a couple trees in this sort of area, because we're not going to find assets that are going to fit in every little section, so some of it is going to have to be treed off. And to be honest, the trees are not necessarily a bad thing. They look a lot nicer. They kind of bring out a bit of greenery as well, so it doesn't look all the same and all dark and dungy and miserable. You see, now with those trees that looks much nicer. I'm just going to browse through and see what other assets I can find, just to initially fill in these two spaces, and then start working our way around there as well. So we're continuing to densify this area, putting a few more buildings here and there, just kind of just trying to fill in the space with buildings that sort of fit the theme. There's not many of them, to be honest with you, but we are doing what we can in finding some decent looking buildings that could potentially look like they're from, or could be from, London. So we're going to keep trying with what we're doing at the moment, and then hopefully we'll get some more buildings soon enough. So we have developed quite a lot of this. We're just filling in some trees just between the edges to make it look a little bit nicer, and filling in some of the gaps. Good, that looks a bit better. And then we've obviously got the gherkin here as well, as you can see. We've got the gherkin, which looks very nice and tidy. We just need to fill in this section here, this gap here, then here as well. So, to be honest with you, not too much more to do, but it's looking 100 times better than what it did before we started. So, yeah, happy with that. Not sure what to put here yet, but I will have a little look So this end section here, we're just going to leave as basically trees for now. We're not going to place any buildings in it. Just going to fill it with some trees for now because these ones are AI buildings and hopefully they might contribute to it and help us build. So let's have a look to see what we've done. We've got this lovely looking area now, so this feels so much more full. If you zoom out, look how much better this looks now. The stadium itself on its own didn't look good at all, but now that we've done a nice bit of landscaping and adding in some nice buildings, this is looking beautiful. So if you're coming in from Reading direction, you'll see this nice no-named thing, and you'll come in, you'll have a nice view of the Gherkin up here, the Wembley Stadium as well. We've got a few posher hotels dotted around, of course, for the visitors, the London Eye here. So yeah, it is looking so much better, so much better. I'm very happy with that development, very happy. The problem that we're going to have now is because these are assets and we haven't placed anything underneath them as such, we're still going to get AI trying to build within these buildings, which is going to be a bit annoying. But nevertheless, I think that looks awesome. Absolutely awesome. That really gives the city just an extra bit of character, an extra bit of life, which is really nice to see. So yeah, we're happy with that, chuffed with that. Now, with the lines development from last episode, we have these two dormant lines that are not doing anything just yet. So what we're going to do is we're going to link these lines up. One of them will go to Sheffield and the other one will go to Leeds, and it's going to be that simple. We're just going to do it one to each and that should suffice. So as far as Leeds is concerned, we could quite easily put a station here, just along the edge here. We can run the track the way back down, and then with Sheffield we can do similar sort of thing, maybe pop it here, and then if we need to we can run it through to Manchester at some point as well. So let's grab our train tracks and start developing out. Hopefully it should be nice and simple, nice and smooth. So we'll bring the tracks out together just like this and start to curve it out nice and early doors. We want the parallel tracks on, please. And we've got that curving out, and it's kind of aimed nearly directly for Leeds, which is helpful. So we're going to push this track the way through around here, and then let's assess where we're at. Okay, so that's where we're at. Okay, so that's lined up pretty well for Leeds, and this could be lined up pretty well for Sheffield. So let's go with Sheffield first then, and I think this is where we want our train to be. In this nice little gap that we've got going on just here. So we're going to create a bit of space for ourselves, and we're going to put a nice looking train station just at this section here. 2 tracks, and we're going to smooth that out ever so slightly just so that it's perfect as can be. To be fair, what we might do, actually spin it and then create ourselves a nice little road to run in front of it, because then that way if we connect it up, it'll actually service a lot more of the town because of the entrance side. So what we'll do is grab this road, we'll grab this road. That's a little bit too far over. That seems about right to me. Straight. Now it's straight, allegedly. Whether that's straight or not, who knows. Connect this up here so that we can service the most amount of people possible. get rid of that corner there. And then at least we've got that station. And then let's see that does quite a bulk of the main centre. We probably run a road across here. That might even be a bit better. And then we connect that one up there. Just like that. That should suffice for now. Good in the hood. So then when we need to, we can extend that out to Manchester. But for now, we will run this back to our line that we've got already. So we only want one of them, so we don't need the parallel tracks on. We just want to bring this one around, stop it around here. Turn off the parallel tracks. That looking okay? Yeah, it's carved a right big hole into the mountain, but it is looking okay. And we'll lift that up. Ooh, might have come a little bit too far, because look at the corner on that. It's reducing a decent amount of speed. Maybe if we pulled that back ever so slightly and reconnected it to there, and we'd lose a lot less speed. What we're also going to do is run a second track like this, and we're going to run it all the way across here, and then this is going to be a makeshift third rail for now, which we're going to lap all the way down here, and we're probably just going to connect it back in the main line. I'm just doing that now in case we want to basically use two trains so that we've got a bit of clearance between it, and then we'll smoothen out the track to make it look a little bit nicer because it looks ugly, just like that. Do the same along here. We don't want it looking too bad, and that'll do. Okay, so that runs outwards, breaks into 3. This one's going to continue up to Leeds, so we'll drag this track straight up like so. Just want a nice straight consistent route all the way until we reach Leeds, which will be, our train station is going to be about here, right in the middle, just to annoy everybody that's just built their houses. Whack that right in the middle. There we go. Everybody that's built a house here, I'm very sorry, but it's going to put up your house price hopefully, because it's a great big train station for you. Now I'll grab the track and run it through. Try and keep it again, just to keep it as straight as possible, and then figure out the point where we want to curve it. That can probably come all the way to here. Oh, maybe not. Maybe we need to push it back a bit. And that can... No. That can hook up to there. Then we want our second track as well to basically mirror this track all the way through. Connect it back up to the main line that we've got running over here. Like that, making the space, and just like so. Then we'll pop a connection back in. Maybe we'll bring it up a little bit and then pop the connection back in. Like. Good, so we've got track that's running to both of these cities now, which is awesome. I'm just going to do a little bit of terraforming along the way, just to smoothen it out ever so slightly, get this looking as smooth as butter. Same with all of these sections here. We don't want it looking too rubbish. And then there we go. Cool, that looks a little bit more natural now. I'm not sure about this main road between Leeds and Sheffield. A bit weak, isn't it? So it's quite a weak road. We definitely don't need this crossing. So we'll axe that away straight away. Get rid of you because we don't need you. And to be honest with you, we'll probably develop Leeds a little bit, but we'll set up the train line first. Or should we set up this road first? I think we should set up this road first. Just a nice, normal, simple connection, just like this. Main line will be disrupted, no problem. Get rid of that over there because it's just going to hold up the traffic. And want to curve this around the main boulevard of our lovely Sheffield. Just like that. We might actually upgrade this slightly. A bit of a bigger road because that's not going to carry much traffic, and I can imagine not too distant future this is going to be quite a big place, especially if we use it for a through route from Manchester or similar. So we're going to look up those roads, and to be honest with you, it's probably going to be worth us upgrading roads as well. Like that. At least then we have some sort of a smoother connection. And obviously terraforming, like always, smoothing out that road to make it just look a smidge better. Otherwise it will just look really ugly. Really ugly. It is worth bearing in mind, Transport Fever 2 is not a city builder game, it's a transportation game, so me trying to design cities and try and make them look somewhat presentable, yeah, I do my best, but to be fair to the game, it does a decent job, so can't fault it, to be honest with you. Right, next. So as we're going to be bringing those big trains into the platforms that are actually already in use, we're going to pop down a couple of signals just prior to the train station to make sure that everybody waits their turn and there's no big hustle and bustle on the approach. Hopefully that will mean be nice and efficient. So just a couple of signals there, hopefully that will allow trains to come in naturally and not cause any problems. Right, new line, want to connect Cambridge up to Sheffield, which will be on this outermost line, which is no problem at all. So we'll put T Sheffield just like that, and then we want another new line which will be to Leeds, which is quite a distance actually. That's nice. Look at that straight route, that is so nice. I love that. Nearly as far away as Middlesbrough. So we're probably going to need a nice fast train for that one. So let's put T Leeds. Awesome. Cool. Now we need to buy some terrain. I've placed a new train depot here for us to browse the trains in. So for our train line to Leeds, we're going to go with the Class 220 Voyager Cross Country, which will be this one here. That's got 208 capacity and 195 metres worth of train. We'll buy one of those, that's for the Leeds Rail, and then we'll look at buying a different train for the trip to Sheffield. So let's just have a browse through to see what we've got. Is there anything interesting in the electric side of things? They're all kind of the same really, aren't they? Maybe we'll go nice. That's top speed is 202. That's an City train, 176 capacity. How long are you? 221. That could potentially work. I don't see why not. Yeah, let's use you for Sheffield. We've got 2 trains, and we're going to pause it so we can see them come out. We want to connect this one up to the Leeds line, and connect this one up to the Sheffield line. And as soon as we press play, they should start rolling through. Let's have a look. Look at that. Got a bit of tree problem here that we're going to have to cut back the trees, but nevertheless, this should work perfectly fine. Let's come out to this section here so we can get a nice little look. Oh my gosh, yeah, we need to cut back those trees. But let's watch this bad boy go past. Yep, he's honking at us. He's pleased to see us. To City 125. You go on your first journey. Stay safe. Good journey. She's a long one. He is a long one. Still going. Still going. Still going. Oh my god, still going. Holy moly, still going. There we go, and there's the end of it. Now that's going to hopefully start picking up a little bit of speed now on its route to Sheffield, which is brilliant. And do we have our next candidate? Where are ya? You can see the flicker of lights through the tree. Here we go. Oh, honking. You got the memo, and there we go. Look at that. Beautiful, beautiful cross-country beast. That a nice looking train. Should in theory cross over now. If it doesn't, we've got a bit of an issue. It is. Oh, look at that, it's sending it now. He is in full send mode. And off he goes on its first trip to... that's awesome. I'm going to skip a bit of time and then see what happens when they come back with the busyness of the train station. We've arrived at the train station from Leeds. We've got 1 train waiting, which isn't a problem. So that will load up the whole 2 people that want to go to Leeds, and then it will start heading back out. It should allow our underground trains just free access, because that's not going to be back for a while. So yeah, a slight delay here and there, but all in all, it's working pretty well. If we actually have a look at this station here, got a few more trains coming in as well, which we love to see. It's all coming together. We're starting to be connected across the country, which is brilliant. And here we go, trains have arrived. Look at that. How many people have we got on here? 78, that's not too bad at all. And on this one, 19. But yeah, good. And I think that'll do for today's episode. I appreciate you watching the videos. I hope you've enjoyed it. Let me know if you've got any tips or tricks that you want me to do in the next episodes. But for now, thanks very much for watching, and I'll see you in the next one. Bye.